Undercover CEO found a new cashier crying in the break room. What she said next shattered his heart. Ethan Caldwell, the CEO of a rapidly growing retail chain, had decided to go undercover in one of his stores. He disguised himself as a trainee, working as a regular floor employee, to understand what his staff really experienced. On his third day, during the lunch rush, he slipped into the break room to grab some water and stopped. In the corner, sitting on a plastic chair, with her face buried in her hands, was a young cashier he hadn't met yet. Her shoulders shook as she tried to muffle her sobs. Ethan hesitated, then softly said, "Hey, are you okay?" The girl quickly wiped her face and shook her head. "Sorry, I'll get out of your way." She stood, but he gently motioned for her to sit back down. Double quotes, "No, please. Take a minute. I'm just the new guy here too." "What's wrong?" he asked, keeping his voice calm. She sniffled and gave a weak laugh. "You wouldn't understand. I can't lose this job. Not now." Something in her voice made Ethan sit across from her. "Why do you think you're going to lose it?" She hesitated, then the words poured out. "I was late today. My manager warned me last week that if I was late again, I'd be fired. But my little brother," her voice cracked, "he's only 8. He had an asthma attack this morning. We couldn't afford his medicine this month because the rent went up. I ran all the way to the pharmacy before my shift, but the insurance didn't cover it. I don't know what to do anymore." Ethan felt something twist deep inside him. "You're taking care of your brother alone?" he asked quietly. She nodded. "Our mom left last year. Dad works 2 jobs out of town. It's just me and him most of the time. This job is all we have to pay for food and bills. If I lose it..." Her voice broke entirely, and she covered her face again. Ethan sat there, completely silent, his heart heavy. He had come undercover to check on operational efficiency. He hadn't expected to find a teenager carrying the weight of a family on her shoulders. Slowly, he said, "Listen, I don't think you're going to lose this job. In fact, I think things might get better." "What's your name?" "Leela," she whispered. He smiled softly. "Leela, I promise you, you're going to be okay." That evening, Ethan revealed himself at the staff meeting. When he called Leela's name, her face went pale. "I met one of the hardest working, strongest people in this store today," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "She's been fighting battles no one should fight alone, and starting today, she won't have to. Lila, not only are you keeping your job, but I'm personally covering your brother's medical expenses and giving you a full scholarship when you're ready for college." The room erupted into applause, and Leela broke down in tears, this time, not from fear, but from relief. Ethan looked at her and thought, this is why I built this company. Not for profits, for people like her. Ethan Caldwell wasn't the kind of CEO who liked to sit in an office tower and watch numbers on a screen. His retail chain had exploded in growth over the past 5 years, but he always feared losing touch with the people who made it all possible. That's why, once a year, he went undercover in one of his own stores. He put on the company polo, clipped on a NAMA tag that read, Ethan T. Trainee, and worked side by side with the staff. On the 3rd day of his undercover shift, the lunch rush had drained the life out of him. He stepped into the break room to grab a bottle of water, rubbing the back of his neck and froze. In the far corner sat a young cashier, no older than 19, her face buried in her hands. Her shoulders trembled with quiet, suppressed sobs. Ethan hesitated. He wasn't sure if he should intrude, but something about the way she tried to make herself invisible tugged at him. He walked in slowly, his footsteps soft against the tile. "Hey, are you okay?" he asked gently. The girl startled, quickly swiping at her cheeks and standing. "Sorry, I'll get out of your way. I was just leaving." "Wait," Ethan said, holding up a hand. "You don't have to go. Take a minute." "I'm fine," she said quickly, though her red-rimmed eyes betrayed her. "Really? I just need some air." She turned to move past him, but Ethan's voice stopped her. Look, I'm new here too, and I've had days where I wanted to hide in a break room. Whatever's going on, you don't have to hold it all in. She hesitated. The words slipped out before she could stop them. I can't lose this job. Not now. That hit him like a punch. He motioned for her to sit back down. Why do you think you're going to lose it? The girl sank back into the chair like her legs had given up. I was late today. Again. My manager said if I was late one more time, I'd be fired. Ethan leaned forward, lowering his voice. What happened? Her fingers twisted the hem of her apron as her voice shook. My little brother had an asthma attack this morning. I had to run him to the pharmacy before school, but... She let out a humorless laugh. We couldn't afford the medicine. Rent went up last month. My paycheck barely covers food. I tried to call, but my phone's out of minutes. I just ran all the way here, hoping I wouldn't be late, but I was. Ethan's chest tightened. Your brother's okay? She nodded, weakly. For now, but we're running out of his inhaler. If he has another attack, her voice broke, it's just me and him. Dad's working 2 jobs out of town. Mom's gone. Gone. The single word carried so much weight. How old is he? Ethan asked quietly. 8, she whispered. I'm 19. I work as much as I can. I don't mind. He's my whole world. But if I lose this job... She stopped, covering her face with her hands again. Ethan sat in silence, his heart sinking lower with each word. He had come undercover to check on efficiency and morale. He hadn't expected to find a teenager carrying an entire family on her shoulders. What's your name? He asked softly. She sniffled. Lila, you're stronger than you realize. He forced a small smile. And I don't think you're going to lose this job. In fact, I have a feeling things might get a lot better. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. Lila's tear-streaked face haunted him. He thought about the decisions he made in boardrooms, the memos about cost-cutting, and the faces behind those numbers. This isn't just a store. These are people's lives. The next day, the entire staff was called into the break room. Whispers filled the air, rumors of a surprise inspection. Lila sat nervously in the corner, twisting her apron. Ethan stepped to the front and took off his trainee AMA tag. My name isn't Ethan T., he said, his voice steady, but full of emotion. It's Ethan Caldwell. I'm the CEO of this company. The room went silent. Lila's head snapped up, her mouth falling open. I came here undercover to understand what my employees go through, he continued. And yesterday, I met one of the bravest people I've ever known. He turned to Lila, who looked like she wanted to sink into the floor. Lila, you've been fighting battles no one your age should fight alone. Starting today, you are not only keeping your job, you're being promoted to assistant shift lead. Your pay is going up immediately. And I'm personally covering your brother's medical expenses. That's not all, you're getting a full scholarship when you're ready to go to college. You've carried enough weight. It's time we carried some for you. For a moment, the room was completely silent. Then Lila broke down, sobbing into her hands, as her coworkers rushed to hug her. The applause that followed shook the walls. Ethan stood there, his own throat tight. This, he thought, is why I built this company. Not for profits. For people like her.